You are looking at the young men and women who participate in one of the most unusual sports in which colleges and universities compete, intercollegiate sailing. Collegiate sailing is unique in many ways. One of the most obvious is that sailing is a co-ed sport in which men and women compete equally with and against one another. College sailing is a very physical sport, requiring fitness, agility, and coordination. However, strength alone is seldom the key to winning. The complexities of competitive sailing make the mental aspects no less important than the physical demands. The rules are numerous, the tactics complex. Racing occurs on lakes, rivers, and coastal waters where tides, currents, and winds vary from location to location, day to day, hour to hour, and even minute by minute. Accounting for these factors and making the correct strategic and tactical decision is always challenging. A day of racing and 20 knots of wind may leave a crew completely exhausted. A light air race in shifty winds can tax a team's mental resolve and determination to the limits. Thus, brains often win out over brawn, and sailors of every physical type may be winners. Collegiate sailing is a sport that exists for the participants, both competitively and administratively. The Intercollegiate Sailing Association of North America is the sport's governing body. The officers, directors, and administrators of the ICSA are drawn from coaches, advisors, and the students themselves. College sailing thrives because those who know the sport best are those who guide and govern it. Although the ICSA is not associated with the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NCAA does count sailing for sponsorship purposes upon application from individual institutions. Sailing regattas are different from any other college sporting event. Smaller regattas host at least 3 teams. Most events involve 8 to 16, and the very large regattas may have 20 or more teams in attendance. Most regattas are 2-day weekend contests, during which teams may sail as many as 40 races and spend up to 10 hours in competition. Collegiate sailing is also unusual in having both fall and spring seasons. A sailor's body weight is important in sailboat racing, but depending on the type of boat sailed, there is a place for competitors of all sizes. The boats sailed in dinghy competitions are relatively small and require a crew of 2. A 95-pound skipper or crew paired with a heavier teammate may be the key to a winning combination. In single-hand competition, usually sailed in Olympic laser-class boats, heavier sailors often have the advantage. But even then, a lighter sailor may have the advantage in the light winds. Just as size and weight aren't limiting factors for the collegiate sailor, neither is the size of the school. Scholarships are prohibited in college sailing, a principle which the ICSA upholds to keep the playing field level between institutions of varying size. Large schools of 40,000 compete with and are regularly bested by smaller schools with fewer than 2,000 students. Indeed, the 2000 North American Co-ed Dinghy and Team Racing Champion is St. Mary's College of Maryland, a school of just 1,500 students. One of the most appealing aspects of intercollegiate sailing is that it is a friendly sport, with a competition in which the boats are identical and exchanged between races. With as many as 40 races sailed by each team, there is seldom any doubt that the winning team deserved the victory, and the respect the sailors have for one another is genuine. There's a great deal of social interaction and camaraderie among teams between races. Coaches and sailors alike will exchange ideas and coaching tips, and it's true that participants often develop as many friendships with members of opposing teams as they do at their own school.
Sailing just creates an atmosphere of family almost. Everyone loves this sport.
It's a sport that sticks with you forever. It really is. You meet people that you know you're going to know for the rest of your life.
I'm almost tighter with some of the people I compete against than I am with some of the, newer people on my team.
On the water, my competitors, we fight and we yell and call out stupid rules all the time. And as soon as we get off, everyone comes and hangs out and says good race, and we go to parties together and we all get along.
They're always happy to see you at every event. They're ready to beat you, but they're also ready to give you a pat on the back when you do well.
North American Championships are held in 4 disciplines: single-handed, 1 person, 1 boat; the dinghies, 2 persons per boat, 2 boats per team; sloops, 1 3 or 4 person boat per team; and team racing, 3 2-person boats per team. In this last, 1 3-boat team sails against another in a match format that produces what many consider to be the most exciting competition to be found anywhere in the sailing world.
Team racing, my favorite part of sailing, and college team racing is where it's at. It's teamwork, it's boat handling, it's boat speed, it's complex tactics and strategy. It's so much fun and it's beautiful.
Teams qualify for the championships in each discipline through elimination series in each of the 7 districts in the United States and Canada that make up the ICSA. Local and regional events follow similar formats. Some events are restricted to women only, but the vast majority are open to both men and women. Collegiate sailing teams vary widely in size, funding, and facilities. From relatively small club teams funded by the students themselves or from recreational funds, to the large, well-funded teams run by the service academies.
Well, at my school, we don't have a coach, so I'm the team captain, so I spend all my time organizing. When I was growing up sailing, I sailed single-handed boats all the time, and it was fine. I get there with my stuff, my own show, and it's real simple, cut and dry, but now I'm dealing with all these people, and I have to get all these people together and make sure everyone's motivated. I sit down now and look at myself when I was a freshman, and I wouldn't know how to run a group. And now after 3 or 4 years of dealing with it, it's just like I'm used to it.
A team can be established and run effectively with only a few boats, but generally, a fleet of 8 or more boats is best. In some areas of the country, individual teams may have only a few boats, and teams will transport their boats to the regatta site. Some teams will have as many as 40 or more members. Others may have as few as 5. But even the better-funded teams often opt for the small team concept in the belief that player development depends more upon a better coach-to-sailor ratio than putting a large number of sailors on the water. The real keys to a successful program are commitment and continuity. The establishment of a college sailing team often produces other benefits to the sponsoring school in the form of recreational sailing programs and learn-to-sail classes for the general college community. Many college programs teach hundreds of new sailors every year, and a few teach 1,000 or more.
College sailing provides for students an opportunity to be in a natural environment, on the water, an environment that requires of them a strong intellectual pursuit, stamina, and great athleticism. St. Mary's College enjoys a remarkable reputation as an academic leader. It also enjoys a marvelous reputation as a leader in intercollegiate sailing. What I am inspired by is the combination of the two, the high intellectual drive that students have when they come to sail, as well as that nimbleness, flexibility, incredible athleticism that they demonstrate on the water. Sailing really showcases our students in their best aspect of body and mind.
Collegiate sailing has further appeal as one of the safest collegiate sports. Competitors rarely suffer serious injury, and while sailing can be extremely physical, it is a non-contact sport, at least between the participants. And since the boats sailed are usually small, even boat-to-boat contact seldom results in major damage. Funding for a sailing team is, of course, one of the most important considerations. While the initial cost of securing boats is substantial compared to some other sports, used boats are almost always available. If properly maintained, boats last many years, and the initial investment becomes modest compared to other sports when amortized over their entire lifespan. Financial support may come from many sources. Athletic department funds for varsity teams, student activities funds or members' dues for club teams, and alumni donations all support sailing teams. Schools located in strong sailing areas will find the local sailing community to be one of their best sources of monetary support. As it is with any other sport, coaching is of major importance to the success of a team. While some very successful club teams have been self-coached, those with coaches, volunteer or paid, part-time or full-time, most frequently enjoy success on the race course. But the most important element in building a team is continuity. Whether it comes from a coach, a faculty advisor, or a long history and a strong student base, continuity from year to year is vital to building a team. Again, commitment and continuity are the keys to a successful program. As with funding and team size, facilities vary drastically. Collegiate teams may partner with local yacht clubs or community sailing programs, operate from commercial marinas, or lease or own their own facilities. Critical to sustaining a program are sailing waters close by the college campus. But the short length of college race courses on which races of 18 to 25 minutes duration are run means that even small bodies of water are suitable for competition. Whatever the facilities, whatever the size of the team, whether club team or varsity, sailing is a sport for the participants. They sail because they want to, not in anticipation of future earnings. Only a few go on to occupations within the sport, and none leave school for lucrative professional contracts. But many do go on to the highest levels in the sailing world, and the majority of our Olympic sailors and America's Cup competitors come from the ranks of collegiate sailors.
Because college sailing is where the United States Olympic sailors come from. It's the most important training ground we have.
If I can do that, I will definitely go to the Olympics. It's an awesome opportunity and a great time.
When I graduate, I'll probably start training full-time to have an Olympic campaign. And definitely college sailing has given me the foundation so that I can hopefully make that a pretty fruitful experience.
While many college sailors have experience in youth and high school sailing programs, college sailing is an inclusive environment where a walk-on freshman or a beginning sailor can learn and improve to eventually compete in a North American championship or even earn All-American recognition. But whatever the background, whatever the experience level a sailor brings to his or her team, collegiate sailing will be either the beginning or an additional chapter in a lifetime relationship with sailing. Because leaving college doesn't mean leaving the sport. Sailing is a sport that men and women alike will enjoy from the day they learn which way the wind blows until the day they can no longer hold a tiller. The friendships made in college sailing will last lifetimes, as these sailors may be competing with and against one another for the rest of their lives. And years away from their college sailing careers, the great racing and the friendships made will be among the most valued memories these young men and women will take away from their college days.
There is nothing more thrilling or exciting than going hell-bent for election on a day when the wind is blowing hard and you have a huge rooster tail of a wake flying up behind you. There is not a college sailor I know who can resist screaming with pleasure at that moment.
You look on the people's faces, and they're having the time of their lives, and it's snowing. They're wearing sunglasses to keep the snow out of their eyes. Gosh, the environment changes every day. Our basketball court never looks the same.